Hi, guys, welcome to another episode of Nonsense to Nuisance, where we try to make nuisance out of all the nonsense around us. A few weeks back, I released a video on one of the most important principles that can help us focus, that can help us improve our attention span, which is already less than that of a goldfish, right? A couple of days later, I gave you another video which points to multitasking as the number one killer of your attention span. But hang on, a couple of days later again, I sent another video where I actually said multitasking may not be that bad actually, provided we know how to use it, right? Now, do you think I'm good at all this? No, I'm still learning with all of you, right? So this is what has worked for me. Not always, but majority of the times, right? There are times when things don't work; they just don't work, right? So these have worked invariably most of the times. And in spite of following all this, there are times I feel overwhelmed. There are times that no matter what I do, things don't sit in place. Things don't go on that well as they're supposed to. There's too many things happening in the mind. There's too many things to remember. There's too many things to follow up on. It gets very challenging, very tiring, mentally tiring, right? Uh, Now, I was wondering why, if I was doing all this uh, one thing at a time, and if I'm not multitasking, if I'm giving each task the due attention, what actually is happening, and why am I getting back to these overwhelming thoughts, right? Or overwhelming feelings for that matter. So I came across this very important word. Write it down if you can, and I call this the attention residue. Okay, so I read it in one of the books. I'm sorry, I don't remember which one, but it's important, right? Attention residue. So, what does this attention residue actually mean? Now, say you start the first task, you do the DOT, and you're going at a good pace. You've completed this task to some extent, or more or less, you've done what you're supposed to do. You go on to the next task. You do that nicely, follow the DOT, go on to the third task. Now, as you do, what actually happens is, although physically, consciously, you've moved on from task 1 to task 2, there is something about task 1 that is still lingering at the back of your head. You can call it the subconscious mind, or you can call it whatever, right? Now, it's not just these tasks that you're doing that actually occupy some space. There's other things, your bills to be paid, your rentals to be paid, credit card fees that need to be waived off, things like that, right? All these take up precious space in your memory. Now, what happens is that attention residue, when you go from task 1 to task 2, there's some attention residue. Task 2 to task 3, there is some attention residue, which is why sometimes when you're doing the fourth or the fifth task, you suddenly remember something from the first task. Hey, there's something still pending. So, what's actually happening is your brain is getting filled up um, with these tasks that are actually running in the background. Right? Take it like a laptop, your memory dump. So what happens when this memory keeps getting used up? Bang, the blue screen, right? And then you have to restart. Luckily, you don't have to restart your entire life to get this thing going. What needs to be done is, after every task, how refreshed and how clean are you before you go to the next task? So this concept of attention residue does wonders, because once you know this exists, then we can plan to work on that. So what steps have I taken? Do they always work? Am I still faltering on in this path? So for all these answers, keep watching. I'll be coming up with the next video on what has worked for me, what doesn't work for me, and what might be working for you. So let me know and I will learn. With that, my friends, this is Sri, your entertainer. Until I see you in the next video, bye bye.